Hi, 7th graders. We're on lesson 5-8, which is percent of change, and it starts on page 284. And we are only going to do the first part of 5-8, which is just finding the percent of change, and then the second part of 5-8 will be on a different video talking about sales tax and discounts and selling price and things like that. So that's why this isn't going to cover the entire lesson. So our learning target for this video is to calculate the percent of change and determine if it is an increase or a decrease. So percent of change means that the percent is the percent that an amount changes from its original amount. So if you have two amounts, no matter if it's whatever it is, it doesn't always have to be money, it can be whatever. We're looking at the percent that it's changing, whether it's increasing or decreasing, okay? And I believe this is one of your vocab words, so you could pause this and write it down. You should also include this in your notes right here. So this is how we find the percent of change. We take the amount of change, and we subtract it. So we find how much it is changing, and then we divide it by the original amount. And then whatever that is, we have to convert it to a percent by moving the decimal over to the right too. So let's do a couple of problems. So before the holiday, a pair of Ugg boots cost $300. After the holiday, the same pair of Ugg boots cost $200. Find the percent of change. So I am just going to write this out so we know that our original amount is $300. And then our new amount is $200. Okay? So what we are going to do is we need to take the difference of the two. So it doesn't matter which order that you go into or go on. So 300 minus 200. And then we take it over the original amount. So if we look back up at our percent of change, we take the amount of change and then we divide it by the original amount, which is 300. Horrible writing tonight. I need to fix that. Okay? So 300 minus 200 equals 100. And then we have it over 300. So then there's something wrong with my mouse. Sorry. So then we take 100 and we divide it by 300. 100 divided by 300 equals 0.333333, repeating. And then we need to, so let's do this. Let's change it so I can type it and it will be a little bit easier. Equals 0.3333 forever and ever. And then if we take our decimal and we move it over 2, then that tells us that it is going to be 33.3%. Okay, and then is it an increase or decrease? So are we increasing the amount from the original to new, or are we decreasing? Are we going up or down? So we can see the original is 300, the new is 200, so we're going down. So that means it is a decrease. So it changed by 33.3% and it decreased. Okay? 6th, 7th graders were removed from the mall after they started a water balloon fight. The problem? The water balloons were not filled with water, they were filled with milk. Find the percent of change. Okay, percent of change. So I'm just going to type this out instead of writing it. Percent of change, we would take 80 minus 55, and then we would put it over our original amount, which is 80. Okay, so we're going to divide it. Here's my line. 80 minus 55 equals 25. And then we have it over 80. So I'll put my 80 down here. And here's my line. So we know it's division. So we have 25 over 80. So on my calculator, I'm going to go 25 divided by 80. And I get 0.3125. So then I will take my decimal and I will move it over to, okay, because we start at our decimal and we only go over 2. So then my new percent, or my percent of change, is going to be 31.25%. Okay, see how I go over 2 and then I keep all of the numbers. We are going from 80 to 55. So we are, our number lowered, got smaller. So that means that it is a decrease. Okay? Last year at Best Buy, the Xbox 360 250 gigabytes was selling for $300. This year, Best Buy is selling this unit as a bundle for $350. What is the percent of change in the price? So we know that we're going to take the difference of the two. So 350 minus 300 is 50. And then we have our original amount because it started at 300. So 50 over 300 equals 50 divided by 300 is 0.166666 repeating, so 0.1666 on and on and on. And then we would change that to 16.6%. And since we are going from 300 to 350, our number is getting bigger, so that is an increase. Okay, so basically remember, you take the difference of the two numbers and then you put it on top of the original amount, or you're going to divide it by the original amount. Okay, here's a few more that we'll do really fast. Actually, I don't think it's going to let me. Let's do one together, and then I'm going to have you do number 2 and 3 on your own really fast. So find the percent of change, then determine if it's an increase or a decrease. Okay, let me change my color here. So percent of change. So we take the difference, 10 minus 6. Why didn't it change color on me? Okay, 10 minus 6 equals 4. And then we take the original amount, so 4 over 6. So if you want to put that in your calculator, and you will figure out that 4 divided by 6 is 0.66667, which is what we had on a previous one. So then we would have 66.6%. We're going from 6 to 10, so it is an increase. Okay, if we have, those are the exact same numbers of example 2, for example 2. So I'm going to have you do number 3 really fast on your own. You can pause me and do it and then come back and check your answer. So we have 15 minus 6 equals 9, and then we put it over 15. So 9 over 15, we have 9 divided by 15 equals 0.6. Remember, you need to move the decimal over 2, so it wouldn't be 6%, it would be 60%, and we're going from 15 to 6, which is a decrease. So the percent of change is a 60% decrease. Okay, remember to go on to NICU and take the 5-8 Part 1 quiz, or it's called 5-8% of change. Just do that one, and then have a super evening, and I will see you tomorrow.